Hey, let's talk about what happens when you don't have a method, a practice, or a solid plan to live your relationships from. I've had a number of outreaches this week from women who I've not ever worked with, but who have been maybe following my work or have seen me in a live conference talk or something. And all of the women have reached out to me in this moment of panic where they just had a huge, fight with their partner. They lost it with their teenage kid, where they were at this crisis moment. And they showed up in my DMs or email and said, I don't know what to do. Can I hire you for an hour or can we have a consultation so you can just help me figure out this piece and then I'll consider working with you maybe at another time, but I just need help with this piece. And here's the thing, and I wanted to come in here and explain this to you because how I do what I do is really different than sort of band-aid approaches or one-off therapy. And it's not that those things are bad, they're just not what I do, and they're not what I think most people need, especially if you are a person who has this inflamed, activated response or situation, and you're looking outside of yourself for an answer, right? If you're looking outside of yourself for an answer, then what that tells me is that you don't have a really clear path to follow to find your way when your life feels like a snow globe that somebody just shook. And so if you don't have a map to find your way, a band-aid, a quick solution, do I stay or go? How do I have this conversation with my partner? That is not a long-term solution for you. Does that make sense? Because what it is yeah, I could tell you, I could give you an answer, right? And a solution to that problem. And then you use the solution. And then what happens? You go right back to what it is that you've been doing before. And so then it's no different because you sort of insert solution. And it's what most of us have been doing in our relationships for years. Insert solution. So let me use this script or this way of describing my love needs or whatever it is. Insert solution, but then I'm going to default right back to the old way of feeling in a state of scarcity, fear, anxiety, practicing criticism and contempt of my partner. Are you following me here? And so when you do that, you are forever looking outside of yourself for an answer. And in my worldview, it is my job to be working myself out of a job. And most women who've worked with me for any period of time, when they get into those crisis moments, we can have a one-off phone call because they're like, I know what you're going to say. And they do, because what I'm going to say is to go back to the map that they've already worked, the plan, the method of how it is that they connect back to themselves, and then follow this lighted path, one step at a time, from an anchored place where they can draw on maturity and wisdom rather than standing in that real frenetic place of like, holy cow, what should I do? And, just grabbing at whatever solution somebody has outside of them. And so the women who engage in the work with me, it's really they're walking on a path of their own steady transformation. And I want to connect this back up with something that I spoke about in my last video a few days ago about not looking to your partner to fill up all of your needs. Okay. And I just want to be clear, this is a much higher level concept than most people talk about, because it's either, your partner needs to complete you and they're the yin for your yang, or it's sort of this other version where it's like, it's all you and don't look outside of yourself for any complementarity, that you shouldn't depend on anyone at all. And my perspective is somewhere in the middle, where we do need to be capable of identifying our needs and our desires and making choices that will support us in having those desires fulfilled in healthy ways for ourselves. And because we're humans who enjoy living, most of us, in coupledom or in community in some way, shape, or form, whether you're single or coupled, it doesn't matter. We do tend to live in groups, right? Pods of people, that those pods do offer an opportunity for interdependence in a healthy way, right? And that's the long-term dance of life. That's the long-term dance of relationship. And so again, it's not either or. We have to move out of this duality thinking that so many of us are addicted to, the thinking of what's the right way. Well, I did it for 6 months and it worked, but now it's not working. I want you to pay attention to the energy in which you show up to that conversation, because that energy, it's a demanding energy of it needs to be this way. Because we're looking for security outside of ourselves. And that's ultimately the problem long term, right? And as long as you're in that, you're going to feel like you're in a push or pull. You're going to be making somebody wrong, yourself wrong, your partner wrong, the world wrong, your job wrong, your boss wrong, whatever, your kid. And ultimately, the long-term path of transformation is a path that you choose every single day. It's not something that, like, you read a book about it and then you know it and it's done, right? So many of my clients, they know a lot and have done a lot of their own work. And, a big chunk maybe of what I teach them isn't brand new. They don't know how. How do they implement it day after day after day when that old pattern of, freak out comes up and they're like, but I don't know what to do because I'm so mad that my partner doesn't save for retirement, isn't taking care of his physical health, that she's not responding to me the way that I want her to, right? Is this making sense? So if you're here live, please drop a question, a comment in the chat. If I don't get to it during this conversation, I always go back and read them all. If you're here on replay, please #replay and let me know any questions or comments you might have. My name is Jenny Glick. I'm a marriage and family therapist, a certified sex therapist, but in here, it's my job to move you from where you are to a more expanded, up-leveled version of you every single day. And that is a practice. It's a daily practice that doesn't, it's not some destination that you arrive in and now you can wipe your hands off and it's all better. Hi, Justine. You're very welcome. Nice to have you here. It's a path of devotion. And really what you're devoted to is yourself, is your long-term expression, is who it is that you want to be a demonstration of on this planet while you're here, right? And so in my newly revised program that I'm doing right now, and we're enrolling for the next 10 days at our 2021 prices. So if you are interested and if you've been on the fence about stepping in, I encourage you to DM me now. Now is a great time. We've expanded the program to 10 weeks. There's a lot of elegance and ease and time, and we're not cramming in too much for you. It's really an opportunity for you to take those 10 weeks to be in this at-home retreat where you are practicing your thinking, your feeling, your doing, your believing, and your emotional frequency, all aligned and in coherence and integrity with what it is that you've been saying that you want for probably years. And it doesn't happen by you waiting for someone else to change or the kids to grow up or to have a different job or for losing 10 pounds or whatever the story is, right? That story is actually the barrier that it's what prevents you from having the life that you want. and having the life or the relationship or the intimacy or the joy or the connection or the ease that you want starts today. It starts today. So DM me if you're interested, and let me know in the comments below as well where it is that you presently feel stuck in with your own relationship with yourself. What is it that you're looping up against? What is it that ceiling that you're hitting that feels like you're having a really hard time getting beyond? I'd love to know what that is for you. Thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate it, and I look forward to reading your comments. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.